Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending August 31st, 2022. We recently sold a property, and the day after everything was signed up and the agreement of purchase and sale, everything's locked in, the sale is done. The buyer's agent calls me and asks if my seller clients are willing to sell any of their furniture. The buyers liked the furniture, they needed to buy furniture, so why not buy the seller's furniture was their attitude. So I asked my clients, the sellers, hey, you guys want to sell a bunch of your furniture? They said, sure, why not? They made a list together and put it in an email of all the property or all the furniture that they were looking to sell. I sent it to the other side, a few discussions, a price was agreed to, and that's it, done. Furniture's going to be sold. And the buyers decided that they were going to pay half now, right away, and the other half on closing. My clients, the sellers, were okay with that. I had to jump in and say, wait a minute. What if on closing the buyers change their mind and say, look, we're supposed to give you half, but we change our mind on some of those pieces there, so take them out. Well, my sellers are like, well, that would be terrible because we're going to be moved out a few days before closing, so we're not going to be in a situation to take out our furniture at the last minute like that. Part of a realtor's job as a real estate consultant is not always to talk about beautiful and wonderful things. We have to be looking for the negatives. We have to look at the scenario and say, how can this go wrong and how could we protect our people? And in this situation, right away, that's the first thing that went to my mind was, what if the buyers change their mind and do not pay the rest of the money and say, you know what, it's okay, take the furniture with you, we're not going to buy half of it anymore. That would put my seller clients in a very, very uncomfortable situation, especially if they've already moved out and now this furniture is sitting there. So this is the job of your realtor. They should be looking for negatives. They should be looking for how, or should be asking questions in all scenarios, how can this go sideways? And then advise you as to how to best protect yourself as a seller or as a buyer. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's suitable for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Huge price drops. We've seen lots of price depreciation this year. If we go back to the beginning of the year to now, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 difference from then to now over the course of just 7-8 months. We have today, when I'm filming this, we have a new rate announcement. That for sure is going to change the landscape. How much more price depreciation, if any, are we going to see? Well, we're going to find out as we monitor over the next few weeks. If you look at, since the beginning of the year, huge price drops. But I'm going to show you, if you actually look at the last 4 to 6 weeks, prices have been pretty stable in the last 4 to 6 weeks. But over the long term, they've come down quite a bit. Let's get right into it. I'll show you what I mean. So here we have Vaughan, detached properties only. I've got no other properties mixed in with these numbers here. This is just for detached, for Vaughan. 30 detached properties were sold. Sales over the last 4 to 6 weeks have been going up. Sometimes only by 1 each week, but you know, we were 20, 25, 24. We're now sitting at 30 in a whole week sold. 6 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price week to week has gone up. It's now sitting at $1,722,000. It's a far cry from where we used to be at 2.1, 2.2. We're now at 1722. 1722 is 6% higher than last year's average sold price. The next chart is what I want to spend some time on though. Average sold price 1722 is 6% higher. Median price, which is sitting at $1,623,000, is 3% higher than last year's median price. This chart goes back 3 months, and the dotted line here is a 4-week moving average for average sold price and for median price. And if we just go back 4 to 6 weeks, that dotted line has not moved up and down very much. And this is why I'm saying, week to week, if we just look at the raw data, the raw average sold price and the raw median, week to week, we're going to see peaks and valleys, but we're looking for the trend. And a great way to look at the trend is to take a 4-week moving average, which is what the dotted line is. It hasn't moved much in the last 4 to 6 weeks. Prices for Vaughan detached have been pretty stable in the last 4 to 6 weeks. Sales year to date, 41% fewer sales this year than last year. 41% is a big difference in volume. And of the 30 that sold, 10%, only 3 sold at list price or more. Listings, we have 14% fewer listings, and we could see active listings actually coming down to where now we're at 275 active listings. So what does that do to months of inventory? Well, sales went up. Active listings, the amount of properties actually available for sale came down. We're going to go through the inventory quicker. So months of inventory has come down a bit more again because it's come down for a few weeks now. Months of inventory sitting at 2.1 months of inventory. And again, average sold price has been quite steady over the last 4 to 6 weeks. Richmond Hill, 23 sales of detached properties were done in Richmond Hill. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,779,000, which is 4% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price of $1,701,000 is 3% lower than last year's median price. Let's look at the 4-week moving average over the last 4 to 6 weeks. Really hasn't moved too much. Median price, it's swayed a little bit more, but average sold price hasn't moved much. Why am I focused on the last 4 to 6 weeks? Well, if you are looking to transact, if you are looking to buy or sell, what does it matter what happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago? It really doesn't matter. What matters is right now. What's the trend right now, or as close as possible to right now? That's why I'm focused on the last 4 to 6 weeks. Sales of the 23 that sold, a little over a third, 35% sold at list price or more. 39% fewer sales in Richmond Hill this year, year to date, versus last year, and 21% fewer listings this year versus last year. Active listings has been coming down. It's now at 191. So sales went up. Active listings has come down. Months of inventory took a big drop. It's now sitting at 1.9 months of inventory. And as long as months of inventory stay low, prices, we're not going to see that much of a fluctuation in prices, my opinion. Markham, 24 detached properties were sold in Markham. $1,800,000 is the average sold price. It's gone up quite a bit over the previous week. 6 of those 24 that were sold at $2 million or more. Markham has really rebounded quite a bit in the last few weeks. $1,800,000 is 10% higher than last year's average sold price. And median price is pretty close. $1,785,000 is the median price in Markham. And that's up 15% from last year's median price. And if we look at the 4-week moving average, well, average sold price looks like it's actually been creeping up. And if we look at the median price, it's been going up a little bit more aggressively than what the average sold price. So for the other areas, Vaughan and Richmond Hill, it's been quite steady. Average sold price over the last few weeks. For Markham, looks like it's been going up a little bit. 42% of the sales were at list price or more. We have 48% fewer sales in Markham this year, year to date, than last year. That's a big number. It's a huge difference in volume. 26% less listings, and months of inventory came down slightly. It's now sitting at 1.7 months of inventory. Let's look at condos for York Region. This is all York Region. We had a huge spike in sales. 54 condos were sold for week ending August 31st. None of those were at $1 million or more, and $681,000 is the average sold price for condos. 681 is 2% higher than last year's average sold price. The median price is $673,000, which is 5% higher than last year's median price. And when you kind of look back 4 to 6 weeks for the moving average, it's behaving a bit different actually than the detached market. It actually looks like it's come down and gone up again. It is slightly lower than what it was at the beginning, so it looks like it's coming down, but still not huge changes there. Of the 54 that sold, 20% sold at list price or more. Not a lot. 20% means there's lots of other room to negotiate and negotiate prices on condos. 31% fewer sales this year versus last year, year to date. Listings, we have 6% more listings this year, year to date, than last year. And months of inventory, sorry, my chart is stuck here. There we go. Months of inventory, it's come way down, sitting at 2 months of inventory. And that's because of the huge spike in the sales. So I imagine that's going to level off a little bit there. But 2 months of inventory, average days on market is 26. Here's a quick summary of all the months of inventory. It's quite low, 2.1, 1.9, 1.7 for the detached market. That's quite low. It's by no means, wow, what a, this market is bottomed, it's crazy, prices are gonna, there's so many factors that go into where prices are gonna go. We just had the rate announcement. It's gone up the base 0.75%, which is what a lot of people kind of predicted. How's that going to affect pricing? Well, we know for sure it's going to affect affordability, which is a big factor in where prices are. Let's see, we're going to monitor it. We're going to give you the numbers exactly as they're happening out there. And this way you can make important decisions for yourself based on sound data. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.